All right. So we're going to use what we know so far for examples 5, 6, and 7 and see if we can wrap these up. So we're going to evaluate each trig function, cosine of 4 pi over 3. So we could just go ahead and look at our unit circle, but what if we forgot our unit circle, didn't have it? So we would want to say, okay, 4 pi over 3. Where are we going? Well, that's the same as saying cosine of pi, or 3 pi over 3, plus another pi over 3. So we're going to go all the way over. There's pi, plus another pi over 3. And so our reference angle is the same as saying what's the cosine of pi over 3. And so we should have the first quadrant memorized. The cosine of pi over 3 is going to be 1/2. So our answer is 1/2. Only question is, what quadrant are we in? We're in the third quadrant. Cosines are x. Okay, so if the x value is 1/2, but we're in quadrant 3, it must be a -1/2. So the cosine of 4 pi over 3 is going to be -1/2. Let's use the same thinking here for 210 in the negative direction. Here we go. Start at positive x, 90, 180, and another 30 degrees gets me to -210. So my reference angle here is 30 degrees. What's the tangent of 30 degrees? Okay. Well, I know that at 30, the sine is 1/2. The cosine is √3 over 2. The 2's cancel. And so the tangent of 30 is 1 over √3. That's not allowed. We're going to flip this thing over. And so we'll get √3 over 3. Again, the values for the first quadrant, 30, 45, and 60, for sine, cosine, and tangent, you should start memorizing these. All right, let's do the cosecant of 11 pi over 4. And so we're going to count them up. We're going to say, remember 45 degrees is pi over 4. So every 45 degrees counts as 1 pi over 4. So let's start counting. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I ended up over here in quadrant 2, and my reference angle is going to be pi over 4. Okay, and so in this case I want to do the cosecant, which is the flip of sine. I got to ask myself, what is the sine of pi over 4? It's √2 over 2. Alright, so I want the cosecant, so I'm going to flip that over and get 2 over √2. Not allowed to leave it like that. So we're going to end up with 2 √2 over 2, or just √2. And now remember, look back at our point here. We're in quadrant 2, and we're talking about sine. Is sine positive or negative? Well, sine is the y value, and the y's are positive at that point we're looking at. So we're going to say positive √2 over 2. All right, now that you've seen it a few times, see if you can do it for yourself on 2 pi over 3. Don't use a calculator. Don't even use the unit circle if you can. Find sine, cosine, and tangent. All right, here we go. 2 pi over 3 is our angle. I want to add up to pi to go all the way and find my reference angle. So I know that my reference angle plus 2 pi over 3 is going to give me pi. And I'm going to do a common denominator here, 3 pi over 3. So I'll subtract and find out my reference angle is pi over 3. Alright, and so we want to do sine, cosine, and tangent of pi over 3. We should know these things at this point. Sine theta, sorry, not theta, we know theta. Sine pi over 3 is √3 over 2. Cosine of pi over 3 is 1/2. And the tangent at that point we would divide the sine by the cosine. The 2's would cancel, and we would get root 3. The only thing to do here is check which quadrant we're in. We're in the second quadrant, so x is negative and y's are positive. So in this case, that means our sine is positive. Our cosine must be negative, and that means that if we could divide a negative by a positive, our tangent is also negative. So those are the 3 answers you should have ended up with for 59. Let's try example 6. Let theta be an angle in quadrant 2. So I'm going to go ahead and draw an angle in quadrant 2. And sine is 1/3. So I know that the opposite is 1 and the hypotenuse is 3. Remember that sine is y over r. So the y is 1 and the r is 3. Let's go ahead real quick and figure out what our x value is going to be. It's going to be, using the Pythagorean theorem, the square root of 8. And notice where it is, negative root 8. Notice where it is in quadrant 2. So real quick, the cosine is x over r, so negative root 8 over 3. The tangent, well, to find tangent, we're going to want sine anyway, so I'm going to just figure it out here. But we already have it. They told us it's 1 over 3. We'll write it down again. And so the tangent is the sine, 1/3 over negative root 8 over 3. Remember that if you divide here, the 3's will cancel. So we'll have negative 1 over square root of 8. Can't leave it like that. So we'll get root 8 over 8 negative as our answer for the tangent. See if you can do it yourself on problem 69. All right, they tell us we're in quadrant 4. Down we go. Negative 3 is our y, 5 is our r, and so that means that 4 must be the x. I want cosine x over r, so 4 over 5. All right, one last example to go, and this one's really easy, just plugging things into your calculator. All right, so a couple examples here of doing cotangent of 410 degrees. So a couple things to note. Make sure you're in degree mode. And remember, cotangent is 1 divided by tangent of 410. So to do that on your calculator, you're going to do the tangent of 410 and then hit x to the negative 1. You could also just do 1 divided by the tangent of 410. All right, so a couple other examples there. You can take a look at them, know how to plug these into your calculator. Let's try one. Let's see if we can get the tangent of 304. I'm going to do it on my calculator, see if you can beat me. Here we go. Tangent, make sure you're in degrees. I am. So back we go. Tangent of 410. I'm sorry. Just thinking about the last problem. 304. Hopefully you got an answer already. See if you agree with me. Negative 1.483 to 3 digits. Oh, it said 4 digits. Reading the problem wrong. 1.4826. The problem did say to 4 decimal places. And there we have it. That is 4-4.